I love this comic book, The Walking Dead, book number 30. A prison survivor in a riot suit is seen running across an open field for the car that Rick and the scouting party used to get to Woodbury. The car is stuck in the mud and has a large group of zombies surrounding it. Back at the prison, Andrea is shooting zombies, but Dale isn't paying attention. She asks him what's wrong, and he says that he's worried about Rick and the others. Andrea says that they'll come back or they won't. Dale mentions his wife and how she died to those monsters. Andrea cheers him up, and they start talking about shooting zombies from long distance range. Out in Herschel's vegetable garden, Otis and Billy Green are talking about candy bars, which Axel and the other prisoners most likely ate before they arrived. Billy says that they also need women. He asks if Carol would like to have him, and Otis thinks it's silly. Billy considers growing a mustache. Lori is crying and worrying about Rick, who has been missing for 2 days. Carol tries to cheer her up and touches her leg. Lori feels slightly creeped out and leaves with Carl. Carol looks upset and says that wasn't what she meant. At the generator room, Herschel, Maggie, and Axel are looking for the fuel tank. Axel finds it and starts pouring in gas. They start to talk about Rick and the others, and Axel says they might come back. He remembers Maggie is missing Glenn and apologizes. Maggie says it's okay. Maggie says they might be able to watch a movie, but Herschel asks how to start the generator. Outside, Otis asks Patricia what she's reading, and she says Moby Dick. She's still mad at him, and Otis says that he wants to talk. He apologizes to her and says life's too short, especially now. Patricia decides to forgive him. Inside the prison, Lori and Carl are walking to their cell. Carl says he wants to play with Sophia, but Lori asks him not to. Carl agrees, and Lori sits down. She wonders where Rick is. Maggie and Axel are discussing what movie they are going to watch. Herschel says that they should get the cans inside first. At the tower, Andrea has only 1 bullet left to practice shooting with and is about to go down to get more. Dale asks why she is practicing so much and wonders what kind of attack the zombies could mount. Andrea speculates that there could be other survivor groups that may also want the prison, and she wants to be prepared for anything. Dale then spots the riot-suited person running towards the prison. This person is shoving away the zombies, and Dale goes to open the gates. He and Andrea call everyone to get the gate open. As he goes and gets his RV, he picks up the person and they drive back into the prison. Axel and the others close the gate, and riot-suited person takes off their helmet. It is revealed that it has been Tyrese in the riot gear. He couldn't find Rick, Glenn, or Michonne, but that the riot suits work. Lori is shocked, but Tyrese says that until he sees their bodies, he won't believe they are dead. He says that they both must help close the gates so the prison is protected, or there won't be a prison for the scouting party to come back to. In Woodbury, the governor reveals to Gabe that their plan worked. They didn't set Glenn free. He says it's just a matter of time until they find the prison. Wow, Tyrese put on a riot suit and went out by himself looking for the missing 3. I'm shocked and surprised. But at this point, he's the only one who would. I think the rest of the group would just write them off as dead because they don't have the ability to go and find them and bring them back. Andrea keeps her shooting skills sharp. Considering what is going on in Woodbury, I think she's quite smart. But she and Dale are both worried about taking care of the 2 boys. Can't really blame her there. It surprises me, but doesn't with Billy and Otis. All they care about are petty things. Candy bars? Having a woman for themselves. Women aren't property. It's not like here are some choices, pick one that you want. The woman has to be good with it too. If she's not interested, then leave her alone. Just because the civilized world has fallen thanks to this zombie pandemic, it doesn't mean that women lose their rights and now property to be traded or collected. No one should ever be treated that way. These two guys deserve to be alone. I'm not surprised that Laurie takes Carol's attempt at sympathy wrong. I think she just meant that there is a group of people and everyone would help raise the kids and babies. It would be like the it takes a village thought process. But Laurie overreacts as usual. They have gas for the generator, but no one can figure out how to turn it on. I guess it doesn't have instructions on it for use? Or there's not enough light that they can even find directions. I am curious if it will actually work or not, though. Otis and Patricia bury the hatchet in makeup, sort of. I find it interesting she called Moby Dick a picture book. There might be a little cute illustrations at the beginning of each chapter, but it's not a picture book. It's a long, boring novel, and it would not be my first choice for reading material. The governor. This guy is just a piece of garbage. The zombies are better than him. I hope he gets worse than eaten at some point in this series. But he's playing mind games now. He figured out Glenn was the weakest. But one of the guys realized the riot gear was probably from a prison because it didn't have any department logos on it. I guess Rick never bothered to look at the gear that closely. Maybe he would have noticed if he had and realized it could cause a problem. Regardless, it looks like the decision to find the helicopter may cost them a safe place to live and even their lives. The other survivors may not have any interest in cohabitating, just taking for themselves like the governor. Rick seems to have a blind spot to this. Thanks for tuning in to the I Love This Comic Book podcast. If you would like to make a donation in support of this podcast, you can through Cash App to Pasta26MC. That's pasta like the food, the number 2, the number 6, M as in monkey, C as in cat. If you would like to sponsor this podcast or advertise on it, please send an email to podcast@pastasworld.com. As always, you can go to pastasworld.com for more information.